Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help. And King of Floors, your vinyl, laminate, and engineered flooring superstore.
Our title sponsors, Donnie and Dolly, the team, Able Auctions, and King of Floors. It is Wednesday, and all of our guests today, including Paul Dolan, who's coming up, are sponsored by the O's marketing team at Royal LePage, the go-to source for all your Central Vancouver Island real estate needs. We have friends who just moved to Central Vancouver Island. Find out more at wearerealestate.com. The Whitecaps are in Minnesota today. They're off to a very good MLS start. 2-1-1. They won in Utah, their home base right now, Saturday against Montreal. That was a 2-0 score. Here to talk about it is Paul Dolan, Dolly the goalie. How are you, sir?
I'm great, guys. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. Very simply, just the keys to the Caps' success so far, Paul.
Well, it's still a developing team. There's still a lot of weapons that aren't available to the Whitecaps just yet. You think of Ali Adnan and Eric Godoy, who hasn't come in yet. Bruno Gaspar isn't fully up into full game fitness, although I think we'll see more of him here today. And Caio Alexandre just kind of making his way into the team. So still a lot of parts to come in, but I think Mark DeSantos has done a good job of carrying over the players from last year, integrating them, getting them up fully to speed. Christian Dahome is starting to come into his home. The new player, David Caicedo, I like what I've seen from him in the early going. And they've only conceded 3 goals in 4 games. Maxime Crépeau's been fantastic.
Okay, what can you tell us about a player you just mentioned there? He's got 3 goals so far, Christian Dahome, leading the Caps in scoring from Colombia.
Well, if you remember last year, he came in, he had a bit of a slow start. His family, they tried to get him in from Colombia on a number of different occasions, tried to get even a private plane down to bring them into the States at one point when they were in Portland. And time after time, they just weren't able to do it. I think that's one thing a lot of people don't really understand is how difficult it is, especially for a young player, to come into a brand new country, where it isn't their first language necessarily, and they're also just looking to adapt into a team and a new culture and everything else. So it took him a while to get going, but I think near the end of the year, he was the Whitecaps' best player, and he created a lot of the chances for Lucas Cavallini to score goals, and then he started to score his own, and you saw it this year. 2 penalty kick goals, but clinically taken, and a fantastic header as well. So he'll play in any position that you ask him to play. I think in a perfect world, Mark would like to see him line up in a 4-2-3-1 as a wide right player on the wing, servicing Cavallini and then joining in the press. But right now, they're in a 4-4-2 where he's one of the forwards alongside Cavallini. So he'll press from the front. He gives you everything you need defensively, and obviously he's able to chip in offensively when he's getting the chance.
What's wrong with Minnesota right now, Paul? You've yet to pick up a win in 4 tries.
It's hard to know because they were the Western Conference finalists last year against Seattle, and they brought in an Argentine player, Emmanuel Reynoso, who we'll see today, the number 10. Really strong player, scored a fantastic free kick goal last week, and they're off to a 2-0 lead against Colorado. And it just explodes and blows up in their face. They've conceded 10 goals where the Whitecaps have only allowed 3. And I think it's a great team. It's a really good team. I'm close with Mark Watson, the technical director there. Used to be a Canadian international and former Whitecap himself. And he says that it's just a matter of time. They've got a lot of the same parts, and so it's not as if they've made a lot of changes. I just think it's a matter of time for them to, it's a long season. There's a lot of obstacles. They'll have fans there tonight, and that could be something that spurs them on. But as Mark DeSantos said yesterday, there's not many teams that lose 5 games in a row, and they'll be up for this one. So it's a difficult game, I think, for the Whitecaps tonight.
Paul, Caps have not scored an open play. All their goals on set pieces and penalty kicks. You love that because set pieces, practice makes perfect. But your thoughts on no goals in open play yet?
Yeah, so here's the glass half full, is that in order to create the set plays where they have scored from, you need to be good enough in open play to get the corner kicks or the free kicks. And they've got a lot of corner kicks this year, the Whitecaps. I think in every game they've out-corner kicked the opposition. And one thing that they obsessed over in the off-season, according to Mark, was the fact that they didn't score a set-piece goal last year, a goal from a corner kick. And if they had, they think they would have made the playoffs. Just one or two extra goals there gives you the 3 points instead of one, or instead of a loss, you get a point. So they were that close. And so they spent a lot of time focusing on that. They've been really direct with what they're doing, intentional, meaning that they're not changing it every time they're not getting success. And now that they are getting success, they're continuing to go back to the well. And they've got a good system where they get Jake Nerwinski kind of blocking legally. It's like a pick and roll almost in basketball, but you get into the positions, block off the runner, and the Whitecaps are getting a lot of good looks. So, at this point, I don't think the open play thing is that much of a concern. If it continues to carry on, it will be. They aren't creating a lot of chances. I think they're second worst in MLS right now in open play chances. But again, with some of the weapons that they have that are still to come, I think this is going to be a team that can contend in the West.
Russell Tybert, game number 222 in a Caps uniform, tied for 10th with who, Paul?
Oh, is it Paul Dolan?
Yes. Yes. Does that make you feel? Yeah.
It's only because you asked me in that way, Dolly. Did I know?
That's going back a bit.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. 222, Paul Dolan in a Whitecaps uniform. Matt, does that make you feel old?
Well, what makes me feel old is my reference is room 222. I don't even know if Donnie knows that one.
with Karen Valentine.
Carl Valentine.
No. Well, that's interesting because Carl Valentine played for the Whitecaps, but Karen Valentine, who everybody had a crush on back in the day, even Dolly, was one of the stars of room 222.
That is going way. That's obscure. But anyway, there we are. So it's 222, is it? Well, I'll take it.
Yeah.
He could put me in his rearview mirror, and hopefully there's more players on that list down the road, like a Maxime Crépeau, for instance. But Russell's been fantastic. He doesn't stand out as a player that's making a lot of progressive passes or scoring or creating chances, but he's great for their system right now. He keeps things ticking over. He does a job defensively to cover for guys like Christian Gutierrez. And I think that once, again, the Whitecaps get that full 11, he'll probably be used more sparingly when needed rather than as a starter. But right now, he's obviously a big contributor in the fact that the Whitecaps are in that one of those top spots in the West right now.
What was your hair like in the 80s, Paul?
It was big, like everyone else's. I think I was about 6'6".
Yeah. Yeah. And 3 feet of that was hair. Because these guys have been on me about my hair in the 80s, and needless to say it's gone away.
By the way, it was so good to hear BMAC the other day.
Loved it. Yeah.
I loved it too. Yeah, and I listened every minute. I actually sent a note out to BMAC. Haven't talked to him in a while, but I did see the picture where you're both parting your hair with an axe, straight down Main Street, and it's a different time now, isn't it? When I look at the man,
you were there too, buddy. I remember well. Thanks for this, Paul.
That's right.
Appreciate it,
guys. Take care. Good talking.